Okay.
Okay, we're recording.
All right, wonderful. Well, welcome back, everybody, to our Director Bound call number 3. So, how was your week? So, I think probably if anybody could say, so Ann and I, first of all, loved listening to your positive affirmations. And we shared with you, we want you to make sure that you're saying them out loud at least 2 times a day. So I don't see you guys in my screenshot here at all. Am I supposed to see people at all?
No, do you see anybody down the right-hand side?
I don't see anybody at all.
Okay, then go up. Do you see yourself?
No, I don't. But as long as you guys...
We see you.
You can see me. Okay, good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it just feels funny because I feel blind.
Yeah, I don't know why, because I see a block along the right-hand side, and that may have something to do with, I don't know.
I don't know. I've had in the past see the little block, but anyway, okay. So anyway, we encourage you to say them out loud. So, because I can't see you, I can't see if you're saying yes. Are you doing that? So hopefully you're doing that and starting to hear yourself say these things out loud to your mind, so you can start changing your thinking. Okay. So we want you to do it in the morning when your mind is fresh and you're starting your day, so you can set a pace to your day. And then we want you to say at night, like right before you go to bed, you could have them in your bathroom when you're brushing your teeth or what have you. So that way these in your subconscious mind while you're sleeping, you can continue to have your affirmations be working for you even in your sleep. Okay. So I'm curious if anybody found that this was a challenging activity for them. If anyone wants to come off mute and share that, please do. If anyone found that as quite challenging. Anybody?
Jeannie, I'm just going to tell you, Ray said to bring your mouse to the bottom of the screen.
Okay.
And if you want to see people, click on participants.
And that's just, well, when I went to that giant screen, it all just went away and all I see is just my screen. It's okay.
Okay.
But I appreciate, but I could go petition. I did participants on top. That was great. Thanks, Ray. I found it up there. So now I feel like, okay, now I'm part of the group. I just felt really weird. Sorry about that. Okay. So who wants an extraordinary life? So here's a great quote. An extraordinary life is all about daily, continuous improvements in all matters, all areas that matter most. So this is very personal, right? Because your areas that matter most to you might be different than the ones that matter to me. I've noticed that different people have different affirmations, even though we specifically asked for 6 different categories, right? It looks different for all of us, okay? So if you want an extraordinary life, and this is kind of philosophical, and I know we've been running in the philosophical realms, but it's so important. So, and we'll get into that today a little bit more. So life isn't about wishing you were somewhere or someone that you're not. Life is about enjoying where you are, loving who you are, and constantly improving both. You are worthy, deserving, and capable of creating and sustaining the extraordinary health, wealth, happiness, love, and success in your life. Dedicate time each day to becoming the person you need to be, the one who is qualified and capable of consistently attracting, creating, sustaining the levels of success you want. So it's just, we are part of creating our life. So it's in our power that we can create this life. But how do we do it, right? We know other people do it. There's all sorts of people who have really, on all areas of their life, they're on fire and they've got all those burners going in all 6 areas of their life. So how do you do it? Well, my pal Hal, this guy named Hal Elrod, I'm trying to see why now this isn't, there it goes. Here we go, sorry. So he created a way to win the day. So how do you win the day? So he created, he did a lot of research, and he found out that when he studied, he was trying to study success, and he was trying to understand why some people are like off the charts successful. Other people are just totally frustrated and can't get away from their own self limitations. And what are the differences? So when he studied all these different successful people, he found that everybody practiced at least two of what he named his savers. So two practices in the area of silence, the practice of affirmation, visualization, exercise, reading, and scribing. So we're going to touch on all these. You're already doing 2 of the 6 savers. Woohoo! Okay, so he found that these really successful people usually had at least 2 of these things going. They were either practicing silence and then doing daily exercise, or they were doing daily affirmations, and then they were scribing or journaling every day. But he didn't find that any one individual in particular did all 6 of them. And he said, wow, would it be possible that we could really teach people how to have extraordinary lives if they practice all 6 of these savers? So we're going to go through them. Okay. So what's the S for? S is for silence. So we're just going to read a couple quotes. So Mahatma Gandhi, in the attitude of silence, the soul finds the path in a clearer light. In what is elusive and deceptive resolves itself into crystal clearness. Or one of my favorite authors, Matthew Kelly, you can learn more in an hour of silence than you can in a year from books. Silence is one of the best ways to immediately reduce stress while increasing your self-awareness, gaining the clarity that will allow you to maintain your focus on your goals, priorities, and what's most important for your life each and every day. So what kind of silence do you practice? Well, some people like to pray. Some people meditate. Some people reflect. And some people do the deep breathing. And some people practice gratitude. And so you have to find your way of trying to figure out how to practice this silence. And I think the hard part is we live in a very, very noisy world. You know, in our noisy world, it's hard to sometimes have that time where you can really think. And I found, and I don't know if you experienced this, but when I had to do my affirmations, I needed time to silence to think about it. I found the affirmations a little challenging, really. It was one of the hardest things for me to do, was coming up with those affirmations. So I think we have overstimulated lifestyles where a lot of us are running. And it's to stop and to take a little time to sort of look inwardly and ask yourself, what do you want? And then just listening and find yourself a little deeper. So silence is, I think, challenging. I know that's a practice I'm just learning how to do. I find I pray more. It's just my style. I pray, but I'm sometimes chatty in prayer. So sometimes I just sit there and ask, in my case, I'll share. I like to just ask the Lord to just fill me with his love. I just let myself be loved by him. And just fill me with your love. So for me, I just use that as a time of nurturing. And if I'm sitting there, I try to find a sunbeam that's coming in my window, and I sit in that little sunbeam and I just feel that nurturing. And sometimes that's all it is. And then it's amazingly peaceful. And so we'll see, but that's what I do. Okay. Looks like I need to turn off my people when I want to go down for some reason. Got to turn off my participants to go down a slide. I don't know why.
Oh, can you just click on the slide?
No, see, okay, when I turn you guys off, I can do it for some reason. Oh. Anyway, okay, so I'll put you back on again, so I feel like I'm part of the group. Okay, so A. So we did the S. What's A? A is for affirmations. So we've already been talking about affirmations, right? And so, and I want to just reflect a little bit on some of the things that Anna had said in her last class. And that was, we have thousands and thousands of thoughts that go through our mind every day. And many of those thoughts are negative, right? It's that little negative little gremlin that sort of says, oh my gosh, you're so pokey, or oh my gosh, you just are such a wimp, you don't make phone calls, or oh my gosh, it's that little negative guy. You got to like flick him off your shoulder, and just say, no, no more, no little negative gremlin. I need to do positive self-talk. So the beautiful thing is that you can train your brain, right? So that's that book that Anna was talking about. We can train ourselves, okay, to believe in what we want to do so that we have positive thoughts. So, again, stop it. Can't change it. If you're all negative, like whatever you're grumbling about, get rid of those negative thoughts. Can't change it. Think of an affirming thought. And all of a sudden, you know what? You start becoming a positive person. Maybe you've been a negative Nelly your entire life. You can change. Part of it is just changing the way you think. So whatever self-limiting talk, whether it is, oh my gosh, you'll never lose weight because your body doesn't lose weight. You're just stuck at that weight. We can just say that forever, but it's not true. There are things that we can do. And you just keep thinking, you keep looking at that little skinny person that's all in shape, and you think, yeah, and you start visualizing and dreaming about it, and it's amazing. So quick story. My son was playing basketball, and he wasn't pleased with his performance. And I was sort of sharing some of the stuff with him about, you got to think positive and say, yes, I can, and move on when you're on the court. If you make a mistake, get over it. Don't be like slapping the floor and being all mad at yourself. No, get up and say, yes, we're at this. We can do this. We're in this 100%, right? It's amazing. And then he shared a story with me that he learned about this guy playing darts, and he was a right-handed guy. He learned how to play with left hands. He waited several weeks, didn't play anymore left-handed. He just kept visualizing it in his mind for 3 weeks. In his mind, when he came back to the dartboard, he was hitting those bullseyes just because that was, and he was like, I said, perfect, Luke. That's exactly what we're talking about. It's that powerful. Your mind, if it can do that sort of, that thinking for you, even if you're not physically always acting, that's how powerful it is. So that was something he had learned in school. So anyway, you can train your brain. Be positive, be affirming, knock that gremlin off your shoulder. Okay. So far we've done those. What's our next one? Of course, I'm having a problem getting over here. How do I get rid of you guys? There you go. I'm struggling with my little thing here. Sorry, guys. Visualization. V is for visualization. So, ordinary people believe in possible. Extraordinary people visualize it. Okay? So we already talked about this. Visualization exercises are known to turbocharge the programming. So just like that story I just told you, you want to turbocharge it by using this visualization, whatever those positive thoughts are. If you came up with something new, throw it on your little visualization board, okay? Because all of a sudden, your visual, what you have in your head, what you have in your mind, your self-talk, in your mind's eye, okay, all of a sudden, all these things starting to get into alignment, and things start to happen. And, these positive things, if you're visualizing Disney, all of a sudden, you have these beautiful, happy thoughts. They lift your spirits. You're picturing that warm Florida air on your skin. You're picturing the sounds and hearing them of your kids laughing, and you're tasting that awesome Disney food, right? So it's all part of making it happen. E is for exercise. Da, 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 da. Okay, so if you don't make time for exercise, you probably have to make time for illness. Another Robin Sharma. It's kind of true, right? Everybody writes about exercise. If you can just get your body, the human body is meant to move. It's not meant to sit still. They did these in the military. They had these troops that were all in fabulous shape, and they put them in hospital bed, just laid around. They weren't allowed to really play much. They could get up and go to the bathroom or whatever. Otherwise, they were supposed to they could just do what they wanted. They could lounge around and they could watch TV. They could be on their devices or whatever. And in only 5 days, the same group of guys, they could not pass their PT test. They fell out of formation. They couldn't do anything for just 5 days of inactivity. So that's how fast our body gets out of shape and how much we need to just keep moving it, okay? So if you want to maintain good health or energy, you need to exercise consistently. The beauty of incorporating exercise into your morning is that it happens before you get worn out by your day, or this one always got me, or before you have a whole entire day to keep coming up with excuses of why you don't get your exercise in, right? So I don't know if anyone else can relate to that. But I've been practicing the Miracle Morning now for the better part of a month. And I got to tell you, it's amazing. R's for reading. Reading is to the mind what exercise is to the body. And prayer is to the soul. We become the books we read. Again, Matthew Kelly. He has all sorts of interesting things to say if you ever want to read a good author. So reading is the fast track to transforming any area of your life. So if you really wanted to improve your bookings, get your hands on everything there is about bookings, right? So it doesn't have to be reading a book. You can be reading blogs, or you could be reading or watching things. But you could just, keep being a student of these types of things areas of your life where you want to change. The key is to learn from the experts, those who have already done what you want to do. The fastest way to achieve everything you want is to model successful people who've already achieved it. Why reinvent the wheel, right? There's no need for that. Okay, the last S. S is for scribing. So scribing is really journaling. When you watch Hal Elrod's story, you'll learn that he was just trying to come up with a good acronym. And so he had a really hard time with the J. So he came up with S for scribing. But really, ideas can come from anywhere at any time. The problem with making mental notes is that the ink fades very rapidly. Woo! I think that's a great quote because I sometimes like, oh, that's such a great idea. And then it's like, I can go before I get to my paper, or sometimes it's like I'm already struggling with what the details were of that. So when you can, and this is something I've found really helpful, if I watch something from Pampered Chef, I actually am writing it in my journal. So if I'm taking a little class on 222, I'm writing it down in my journal. And that act of scribing and writing down and taking those notes helps you remember it better. So consider journaling 5 to 10 minutes during the Miracle Morning and get your thoughts out of your head and put them in writing. You'll find that, if you document your insights, your ideas, your breakthrough, sometimes you just have one of those aha moments. Write it down. You want to capture that detail, okay? And those opportunities that you can have when you look back through your journal, okay? So we got you some homework. Really want you to watch this YouTube video featuring Hal Elrod, and we'll post this slide, okay? Really consider purchasing the Miracle Morning book. It's not very thick. It's a pretty thin little book right here, and it goes through all the savers. It really goes right into the meat of it, and it's just an easy read, and there's a lot of great quotes in here and lots of inspiration. This guy, Hal, is so relatable. He's younger, way younger than I am. But I love him. I call him my buddy. I've watched now a number of things because he has, talk about some challenges. He's had 3 huge challenges that I hope none of you have to incur in your lives. 3 big ones. And he still is the most positive person. He's the one that when I shared that earlier thing about the can't change it, the 5-minute rule, that's this guy. He's the most positive person. So if you need positive self-talk, in a way you want to always surround yourself with good people and positive people, right? Hal's one of them. He's a YouTube buddy. Go for it, okay? So consider purchasing the Miracle Morning book and continue practicing your affirmations and visualization. Because after all, of the 6, you're already practicing 2. So we want you to add at least another saver this week, okay? So whether that is you're going to start exercising, if you're already doing it, it doesn't count. So we want you to add something new. This is about your personal self-development, okay? So that's the thrust of the slideshow. And
can I just add something, Jeannie?
Absolutely.
I was just thinking about, because again, we're all about accountability, you know, in this, but I wonder if there's some way that we could find that you could just sort of report back to us when you do watch that video, just to let us, I've watched it before. It is amazing. And it's definitely something that I will be watching again this week, because he is just so inspirational. And again, when you hear what he's had gone on in his life, it's just amazing. And how he reacted to them. I think a lot of you will be like I was, like, how can that even be possible? But so maybe the author, his name is Hal
Elrod.
Elrod, E-L-R-O-D is his last name. Hal is his first name. So if you watch the YouTube, definitely watch the YouTube. If you want to get the book, that's great too. But the YouTube, that video, I think it's about an hour, isn't it, Jeannie?
It's about an hour.
Yeah, but it's definitely worth watching and listening, because he's dynamic. It goes really fast. It's not a boring.
It does. You were like, wow, an hour's already gone.
Yeah, but, you know, it's riveting.
And I think, you know, it's again, this is part of that train your brain. If you know, he's like, I want to be like him. You know, that's sort of, I was like, wow, this guy, I mean, no wonder people love him. He's magnetic because he's so positive. I mean, he can just say, okay, this is this yucky situation. And he has that power of saying, okay, can't change it. And then he changes course and he asks him that hard question. What can I do to change my current circumstances right now? What else can I do? And he keeps asking that until he changes them. I mean, it's like, whoa, I want to become that. And that's, again, positive self-talk. So listening to his story and watching that you can really do this, he's just believable. And so hopefully he'll inspire you too.
So just once you've watched it, just to either message me or Jeannie, we're not going to put any secret kind of question or anything in there, because I'll have to watch it to see what, just say, hey, I've watched it, so we know we can mark you down for your homework. Here's what, one of the things that, Jeannie, I just wanted to go back to, what you had asked at the beginning about the affirmations. And I know I heard from some people that it was tough. Some in the chat, if you read the chat, some people did say, yeah, that was really tough. It was a really big thinking activity. One of the things I know that several of you, I had to go back to, that whole kind of thing about saying, and this is not, because if you're like, oh my gosh, she's talking about me. I'm probably not. I'm probably talking about.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah, we had to redo ours too.
Yeah. So we read it again. There's that whole idea of when you're sitting down with your affirmations, that you've got to have it. You know, when we had talked about them, remember that you can have them on a note card. That you want to have them measurable enough and have those numbers in them that you could say in 3 months, oh hey, I already do that. Like that's automatic. Like I'm totally doing that. I'm getting rid of that. I'm going to change it up to another one. So that's when we talk about that, really making sure, you know, if it's that you want to be a director or that you're recruiting, you know, one person a month or whatever it is, that's it. The other thing that we kept coming up with was about that a lot of them were coming up with, I will do this. I will be doing this. I will. And we were talking about, it wasn't you, Megan. I mean, you were one. I just see you're the one whose face. Everybody else has a better poker face than you do. But because there were quite a few of them that came through that. We were talking about that present tense. If you think about I will, that's actually future tense. This is where that training your brain is, that you want your brain to say, this is what I'm doing. Because if you constantly if you're saying, I do it all the time. If I say, I book 8 shows a month. I book 8 shows a month. I book 8 shows a month. If I'm getting towards the end of the month, or like right now, I'm getting up into February, and if I don't have 8 shows, I'm starting to automatically figure out how to get 8 shows. That's what happens. And you're constantly telling yourself, I do this, I do this, I do this. And all of a sudden your brain sees that you don't do that. It's going to go into problem solving to figure out how to do that and make that happen. if it's very future tense, or it's like sort of, then it doesn't have that kind of mechanism to do that. But that's what happens when you start doing this. So when I say I eat only healthy, or I exercise 3 days a week, or whatever, like whatever those kind of things are, that my body, if my mind, if I'm not doing that, it's going to figure out how to do that. Versus if it's not present, your mind is going to do that. Well, I'll do it next time. I will be, right? If my thing is I will be doing it, it doesn't matter about this month because I'll do it next month. If yours is to be, if you have in your mind, I am going to have a team, 5 consultants. I have a team of 5 consultants. I have a team of 5 consultants. You will figure out how to get those 5 consultants no matter what, because your brain is saying, I've got them. I've got them. Wait a minute, I don't have, how am I going to get them? Because I have them. I have them, you know, but if you're saying I will, it's going to be like, yeah, it'll be next month. Oh, okay, it'll be the next month. Next month. And then we're just going to be running after that wheel. So that's the difference on those. So I just wanted to clarify, but I know it made you guys think, and that's why it's an amazing exercise, right? We didn't say this was going to be easy. Nobody's sitting around picking their nose. I mean, we're not going to get anywhere doing that, right, Katrina?
Oh. So any more questions around the visualization or affirmations in particular, because we spent a lot of time at the beginning on those? Okay. How about any of the concepts today? Did anything stick out that kind of got you a little jazzed, or the concept of, is anyone already doing the miracle morning? You are. Shannon, a little bit. Okay.
Shannon was one that was very big with her affirmations, and recently she had said that was having trouble with them lately. When I made her do her affirmation, she said that was her big, so I'm throwing you under the bus, Shannon. She said, yeah, this reminds me that I need to be doing them like that, because they work. Shannon knows.
Well, you know, I think for me, I said, why am I having such a hard time? And I think there's some fear around them, right? Mm-hmm. They're like, I am these things, right? And I'm thinking, oh, no, I'm not. Okay, right? And so you're like, am I lying to myself? I'm like, you know, well, some of them I'm like on the path, you know, and some of them I'm really far away from. And so I found that, but they're all destinations where I want to be, okay? So I don't know if you had a similar experience, and it's like, okay, well, who likes to fail? I mean, but I think some of these affirmations I might be holding on for a long time, because you know how when you get one, you throw it away because you're going to redo it and get a new one, right? Mm-hmm. So if you say I'm going to be a director, or I'm recruiting 5 new people and qualifying them, well, once you've done that, you need a new affirmation card, right? You're going to now, I have a team of 30 people. Okay, I want to think big. and now it's going to maybe take you longer to do that, and just say, I'm a leader of a 30-person team. Mm-hmm. And you're just, but if you don't put it out there, you're just is incredibly self-limiting. Mm-hmm. And if you say going is forever, right? As long as you're alive. Whereas if you are, you feel a little more accountable. Mm-hmm. And I think that was part of maybe the struggle. I'm sharing myself, but anyone else want to share maybe what they identified when they did a little soul searching on if you were struggling with this exercise?
I'll share.
Okay, go ahead, Shannon.
I didn't struggle with the business ones. I struggled more with the personal things. That was really, really hard for me. And that's always been a hard thing for me, but it was worth it.
Great.
Yeah.
Did you get some insights?
I did. And I think one of the ones I came up with was I am enough. And that's always been hard for me to know that I'm enough. Yeah.
Yes. I think we had to face some of the pain in our lives maybe when we go personal, right? Because it's pretty deep. Some of them are wounds that we need to heal and get beyond. But if we want an extraordinary life, we have to do that. And so we have to face our fears, face our pain, and work through it and get on the other side of that. So really, our hope is that this is not just about Pampered Chef. This is about you being your best version of yourself, right? We can all grow from this. And if you're happier and feel affirmed and loved and enough, do you think you are going to be more, you're going to create an environment around you where people are going to be more attracted to you, and you're going to be more magnetic and more, because there's just something about her, because we feel it too. You're enough. You know what I mean? We are attracted to what you've become. And that's sort of the idea, is we want to, this is a time for healing and a time for growth. So kind of fun. I'm rocking it.
Well, that was what I was just going to sort of set it up with too, is, we've gone through these 3 weeks of this kind of real personal reflection and this kind of goals and all this kind of stuff. And then we are getting into next week, I believe.
Mm-hmm. We are next week
into taking how we're feeling about, and having these processes in place for us to be successful in all areas of our life. But now we're going to get into the practical, like, business stuff. Now we're going to get into that. But I think that this is, again, for those who have been through sort of this kind of a training before, that's probably the difference, right? That we haven't done this part of it before, of really getting this foundation of that visualization, figuring out really where you want to go, and how we're going to do it, getting those best practices in line to give us the confidence. So good. All right, so we had a little love fest for Shannon. That's what you get, Ray, being the only man on here. Ray's right in the middle of the love fest. We're gonna
Ray's rocking love fest.
Yeah, hope that's okay, Ray. You're in the love fest. Big pile of women love fest.
Well, Hal's a guy, so this is good.
That's right. Hal is a guy, and he is a part of the love fest too. So
he is. He's so. Yeah.
Yeah.
One thought about the video is maybe you could give us like something that stood out to you. Maybe one thing. When you watch an hour of something, how do you bring one thing? Well, bring one thing. Yes, you watched it, but was one thing that hit you?
Yeah.
Okay. What was that one thing that you could chew on that could maybe impact you? Okay. What was the one thing that kind of got you like, I'm going to take action on this? So how about that one? Does that work, Anna?
Perfect. I love it. So maybe can you just add that for our
I'll
next
add that to that slide.
Add it to the slide. That would be great. Shannon, you said you wanted that first slide. Is it the one that have all the savers on it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, sure.
I didn't get to jot it down to share, so I would just love to be able to have a copy of that.
Yeah. Do you know how to copy and to paste that, Jeannie?
I think I copied the ones. The only way I knew how. I don't know if I did it right, Anna, but I did the snipping tool. That's what I did to get it on.
No, it's so much easier than the snipping tool.
Okay, so
how to do that.
Maybe you can stay on when everybody leaves and walk me through it.
Alexis is asking, and I wonder if this is something that we do too, is that if we could share all of the slides. I wonder why, is there any issue why couldn't go through and put in files, all of them, and we just put them in files? We'll just put the whole what trainings that we've gone through, we'll just put them all in files. So
sure.
Go back and flip through them and review them if you want. Why don't we do that?
Sounds good.
Okay.
And then we added the slide that we put, we added the one slide to clarifying the affirmations. Okay. So we just have to tuck that in, Anna, into okay.
Yeah. What I'll do is I'll resave it and then make sure that's the one, that you sent over to me.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. Okay, guys, good. We went over a little bit, but that's because we're chatty. But you guys are great. Fabulous. Keep going. We're going to keep going to work. But again, we're just sort of easing into this because this is so self-reflection. You guys are doing a great job keeping up with all of the homework and stuff like that. But again,
yes, definitely.
Practical prospecting and stuff like that next week. So, There's no picking your nose, hanging out, picking your nose. We're going to be like working it. Okay, guys? And Patty Tuck, 10,000 in sales. Toot, toot.
Oh, big one.
Good, Patty Tuck. Hey, guys. Great, and have a fabulous week. Thank you so much, Jeannie, and for you guys for coming on. And then we'll be talking next week. Wait a minute. We need to change something. Next week is 7 o'clock in the middle of the Super Bowl.
Oh, you're right.
So I think what we've done in the past is, and I thought about this, is that we bump it to earlier in the afternoon. So what we'll probably do, and so I know that that might just conflict, and some people are going to have to do changes with, and have to watch the playback or whatever. But I think what we'll do is do it earlier in the afternoon. Is that okay with you, Jeannie?
What time does it start? The Super Bowl,
something.
I should know that.
Yeah, 6-something, 6-ish, right?
Okay. So when you say earlier, are you thinking like 5? Or earlier than that?
I was thinking, yes. Because I don't know where, you're in Vermont, but these people are a little bit crazy. So, no, Alexis, you don't have to use a pass because you could always watch it. You could always use the replay kind of thing. But I really feel like if we did it I actually have some plans. We have plans that night. We don't even like any of those teams, but we have to go somewhere. So, I know, I'm sorry. We're so not Patriots fans, but we're football fans. So I was thinking earlier, but you and I can maybe come up with it and we'll put the time and then we'll just sort of go with it.
Because I just happen to be working that day at the visiting nurses. So.
Oh, you are. Okay. Okay. We will come up.
But I can, so I'll talk to you.
Yeah, we'll talk. Let's watch. That's what I was thinking, Patty. Yeah, that we had done it around 2, but I need to make sure Jeannie.
Yeah, so and then Carol, I know, is having her meeting earlier before the football game. So we'll talk. In fact, do you want to just stay on here or do you want to just chat right after this?
Yeah, we can do this. Let me stop the recording. Everybody can go bye-bye and we will tell you what the time is. I just thought about that. Okay. Thank you, guys.
Bye.